Hi friends, I'm Sierra and I'm here at the Edible Schoolyard, Kern County. And this week we've been learning a lot about decomposers. And today you all are going to learn how you can make a worm bin at home. And you'll only need a few tools and materials to make this happen. And you'll have some worms living with you in their worm bin so that they can eat up your kitchen scraps and provide you with that delicious plant superfood worm castings, also known as worm poop. So let's get started. First, you're going to need 2 plastic tubs, and one of them is going to need to be drilled in the bottom. So I used my 1/4-inch drill bit and drilled holes all over the bottom of this one container. This container is going to nestle right inside of the other container like this, okay? And that's going to get filled with a layer of newspapers all shredded up and some dried leaves. So you'll need some newspaper and some dry leaves to put into your tub. And you're just going to do a layer across the bottom, mix them all up. You're also going to need about a cup of worms and some chopped up kitchen scraps that are ready to be composted. It's important to chop them really small so that the worms can more easily digest them. Things that are great to feed them is anything left over in your kitchen except meat, dairy, processed foods, and they also don't really like onions and fruit peels. So, like orange peels. So, once you've put your layer of newspaper and leaf scraps, you're going to give them a little spritz so that they're slightly moistened. Worms like areas that are slightly damp and very dark, and so that's why we chose to not use clear tubs for this activity. And I just go ahead and sprinkle in. I have a cup of our red wiggler worms from the garden. Sprinkle them around throughout the newspaper, shredded newspaper. Okay, then you're going to give them a sprinkling of food. And then to top it off, you'll do another layer of shredded newspaper and leaves. Give it another spritz so it stays nice and moist in there. And you'll do this probably once a week. Make sure that you check on your worms. Give them a spritz of water if it's looking dry in there, and give them another feeding of food scraps, or if you regularly use a juicer, juice pulp is great. And to finish it off, you will take your lid. I drilled some holes in this lid. You're going to put that on top so it stays nice and dark, and keep your worm bin in a cool, dark area. After several weeks of misting and feeding your worms, you'll be able to harvest the worm castings from the bottom tub. That's why we drilled the holes in there in the first place, so it sifts through the bottom and you're able to collect it in the tub underneath. And if there's a lot of moisture in here, you'll want to make sure that you lay it out in the sun to dry first before storing it. Otherwise, it'll be good to go and make some worm tea. And in the end, you'll end up with this lovely worm castings, worm poop that you can feed worm tea to your plants in your garden.